Anybody tell this future billionaire to sit his ass down. Yet nobody's bigger than the game. They will fucking disappear his ass and have him doing this thing in Turkey. Ja Morant, if you don't know who he is, which is must-see TV. Ja Morant allegedly punches a young 17-year-old kid in the face. Again, that was the rumor all over social media. I don't believe it. Have a position to play which is called very safe. Ja Morant always got his father there. Instead of his father enjoying the scene and getting drunk at the game, he better school his son before the kid loses his career.
Obviously, I made mistakes in the past that, caused a lot of, negative attention, not only to me, but, my family as well, my team, the organization. And, I'm completely sorry for that. So, my job now is, like I said, to, be, more responsible, more smarter, and, don't cause any of that no more.
Several months later.
Like, what's going on, guys? Ja Morant, must-see TV. The man goes, he was accused of pulling out a gun on Instagram, whatever the case may be. He gets in trouble. His team puts it together. They put him together. They put him in a program so that he could get therapy. Everything's perfect. He comes back. He does an interview with Jalen Rose. Yo, my bag. I'm sorry. Now the season's over. And he's waving a gun on IG again. Ja Morant, I wish you the best. Explain something to you. You can have all the talent in the world if you don't move smart. Now, he moved smart the first time. Anybody can make a mistake. Now, all I can say is I wish for the best because the man's trying hard to go play for Turkey or China or Serbia, Montenegro. He's trying hard to get kicked out the NBA. And those guys that's with you, they not your people's job. They don't care. This is a problem we have with our community becoming famous, becoming celebrity, because the people around you, they like that the girls is watching. They love the lifestyle, but they're not you. They didn't dribble the basketball in the snow on Christmas trying to figure out the Kobe moves or the Jordan moves. They didn't put in the work like you. And guess what? If you get thrown out of the NBA, these are the same guys who are going to say, yo, he wasn't shit anyway. Anybody telling you or pointing you in the direction of ignorance, it's not with you. Stephon Marbury was getting $200 million. $20 million a year, $22 million a year. They sent him to China. And him and AI wasn't waving guns.
There's a bigger problem here. I don't know what that is, but there's a bigger problem here. This is the same Ja Morant who was suspended in March for 8 games because he was caught on video brandishing a weapon. 8 games, costing himself over $600,000. He was suspended then. I think the thing that really should be alarming to everybody is that it's one thing for you to do stupid, idiotic, irresponsible things. It's another thing for you to catch yourself. This is not TMZ or somebody else find a video. In March, that stuff was on Ja Morant's own Instagram account. Yesterday, it was one of his boys sitting right next to him, putting it on Instagram Live. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's not called fool. That's not called foolish. That's called, it's like a new fool. You can't make this up. I've got people in the league texting me saying Ja Morant should be suspended for the year. I think it's going to be about 25 games. Jalen Rose thinks it's going to be half the season. I don't know. But I do know this. A suspension is coming. And it's going to be from the league, and it needs to be from the league because you can't trust the organization to handle it on their own. Evidently, that's not good enough because Ja Morant ain't listening.
But let's start here because this is the second time in about 2 months that Ja Morant, the star of the Memphis Grizzlies, has been seen on social media brandishing a firearm. And before he was reinstated after his suspension last time, he flew to New York. He sat down. He met with you. What did you say to him about how much more severe it would be if he did this again?
Well, we talked directly about the consequences first before we got to a subsequent potential to have done something wrong. We were very focused on the misconduct that was in front of us at the time. And frankly, most of our conversation was about how incredibly serious the first incident was of waving, a firearm on social media. And again, and the consequences there, an 8-game suspension was pretty serious and something that he, at least to me, seemed to take incredibly seriously in that time. And we spoke for a long time about not just the consequences that could have on his career, but the safety issues around it. Could have injured, maimed, killed himself, someone else with an act like that, and also the acknowledgement that, as you said, he's a star. I mean, he has an incredibly huge following. Yeah. And that my concern, and I thought he shared with me, that millions, if not tens of millions of kids globally would see him as having done something that was celebrating in a way. That act of using a firearm in that fashion. And so I at least was left with the sense that he was taking this incredibly seriously. So honestly, I was shocked when I saw this weekend that video. Now, we're in the process of investigating it. And we'll figure out exactly what happened to the best we can then. It's the video's a bit grainy and all that, but I'm assuming the worst, but we'll figure out, exactly what happened.